Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Blacklogic. President-elect Trump plans to issue over 25 executive orders on his first day in office, targeting immigration and energy policies. Actions include reversing Biden's border policies, or the lack thereof, increasing immigration enforcement, resuming border wall construction, and boosting energy production. Notably, Trump intends to end birthright citizenship, a move expected to face legal challenges. This is all good. 25 executive orders. I don't know if that's going to be some sort of presidential record or not, but this is a good thing because the Democrats broke America. We see rising inflation, rising cost of groceries, rising cost of housing. We have a lot of illegal immigrants inside the country. A portion of them are violent criminals. A lot of them are part of cartels and gangs, MS-13, as well as Tren de Aragua. We have to get a lot of these things handled, and he's trying to do it very, very quickly. He only has 4 years. So I applaud him on the ambition of signing 25 executive orders that is pertaining to illegal immigration and reconstructing the border wall. And there's been many conversations about, oh, the border walls ain't gonna solve anything. They're just gonna climb over the wall with tall ladders. They're just gonna dig underneath. We need something to separate our country. We need some sort of deterrent to stop people from easily just squeezing through a fence or just simply walking into America. How are you gonna be the most powerful, the most richest country, the most influential country in the world and not have what seems to be even remotely a secure border? How can you not have that? So I applaud him on this. You know why? Because of things of this nature. Latin America is experiencing a significant surge in migration, with millions fleeing economic hardship, violence, and political instability. This mass movement has intensified humanitarian challenges and strained resources across the region. Now, when we say Latin America, are we including Mexico? Yes. Venezuela? Yes. Ecuador? Yes. Honduras? Yes. And the list goes on. And where are they fleeing to? Because of all of these Latin American countries are in disarray, what country do you believe they're coming to? They're coming to the country of Texas. They're coming to the country of New Mexico. They're coming to the country of Arizona. They're coming to the states of this country, United States of America. That's where they're coming, because Venezuela's ongoing economic collapse and political turmoil have led to one of the largest displacement crises globally. Over the past decade, nearly 8 million Venezuelans has left the country, seeking refuge in neighboring nations and beyond. The recent contested election, where opposition candidate Humando Gonzalez reported received 7.1 million votes against President Nicolas Maduro, 3.2 million votes. And it has further deepened the crisis. Allegations of electoral fraud and the regime's refusal to acknowledge the results have exacerbated economic instability, prompting more citizens to immigrate. Where are they going? They're going to America. Why would I go to Venezuela to a falling economy like Honduras? Why would I leave Honduras to go to Ecuador? Why would I go to Ecuador to go to Costa Rica? Why would I go to Costa Rica and go to Mexico? No, I'm going to America. Now, of course, all of these people have yet to arrive here, but there has been millions that has been arriving all across Latin America as well as Haiti. There's been all these people just arrive in America and they just been walking through the fences. Don't forget, okay, I don't want to shine a shining light just on Latin America, but they've been coming from India. They've been coming from China. They've been coming from all over the world through the border. So yes, these things we have to instill for the security of America. Why is America the most powerful country, but yet we have the weakest borders? That makes no sense. And then we don't somehow understand why there's terrorist threats, why there's cartels and gangs operating billion-dollar businesses in America and destroying not only the infrastructure, but the most valuable asset that we have in America are the American people. Why? Why should this be tolerated? I just don't understand. President-elect Donald Trump has announced plans to fast-track federal permits, including environmental approvals for companies investing at least $1 billion in the United States. This initiative aims to stimulate substantial domestic investments by streamlining the approval process for large-scale projects. Now, we have a lot of environmental protections that have been still from many political groups. I'm just hoping that the expedience of a lot of these permits and contracts don't eventually or essentially hurt the public that may be neighboring or near some of these facilities or companies that may be dealing with harmful substance materials or chemicals. That's my concern, that it doesn't make the ground unlivable where you can't grow anything, or the ground becomes toxic, or the air becomes toxic, or the water becomes toxic. That's my concern with the expedience of permits that may cut through the red tape of some of the environmental protections, okay? Because I'm pretty sure there's way too many regulations, because that's the one big thing about when it comes to Democratic and quote unquote liberals. And again, family, I'm not a Republican or independent. I'm a conservative. I'm a conservative mindset, okay? Because I do have some traditional things I believe in: the nuclear family, building for yourself, saving for yourself, working for yourself, doing for self, okay? Working hard, quote unquote, trying to obtain the American dream. But again, I just hope there's no violations that essentially hurt anyone in the process. That's all I'm saying. The proposal is designed to boost the U.S. economy by attracting significant investments, potentially leading to job creation and enhanced global competitiveness by reducing bureaucratic delays. The policy seeks to encourage both domestic and foreign companies to undertake large-scale projects within the country. Again, this is about America first, investing in America. Incentivize those companies who are American companies to invest in America, bring those jobs back to America. And we're going to cut through some of the red tape as long as you're not harming people, the land, and animals. As long as you're not doing that, or the air and the water, as long as you're not doing that, we're going to cut through some of this red tape that a lot of these bureaucrats have put in place, because they're trying to fatten their pockets one way or another. So you guys are creating what? And what is that going to do to the ground? What is some of the intricate mechanisms that you guys have? Okay, let me invest in this stock. Again, everyone knows politicians for quite some time have been insider trading. How are you making $150,000 a year and in 3 years you're a millionaire? And some people are like, well, they save their money, they invest their money. Yeah, they're investing their money in the same stock. Why are most people online, even myself, have glanced at Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio? And we went down like, oh, that is a good stock, because they just created this and they just introduced this new process. And so that yields funds, that yields money, that yields revenue. So yeah, that is a good investment. How did Nancy Pelosi knew this a year ago, and I'm just finding this out? Because everything has to get passed through the government some way, somehow. Again, I'm just saying, okay, don't hate the player, hate the game. And the game is they have rights to information that the public doesn't. Thus, they can invest initially, okay, before we can. And that shouldn't be right. Listen, you are a public servant, and the information that people are now starting to become public with their company so you can invest in their stock, the American people should know that at the same time as anyone else, so we can have the same opportunity to invest as well. That's all I'm saying, because the latest data indicates a slight uptick in U.S. inflation, with consumer prices rising by 2.7% year over year in November. That is up from October's 2.6%. Core pricing, including food and energy, increased by 3.3%. So we understand that gas been fluctuating. Grocery prices have not been fluctuating. It just seems like it's keep going up. Now, on the investment front, it says, just like Cyber Monday deals are getting extended, stock market rally will continue, Goldman Strategy says. And basically what this is about, they want the American people to continue to pump money inside of the economy so we can essentially lower inflation, Because again, what happens normally is when inflation rises, people don't drive as much, they don't travel as much. When they buy groceries, they mostly go to Sam's Club or Costco so they can buy in bulk. They're not going to their regular corner store, neighborhood grocery stores. So all of these are feeling a pinch. So what can we do to incentivize and infuse the economy with American dollars so we can lower inflation? Oh, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Let's extend it for a week. Even before Black Friday, companies like Amazon, Target, Overstock, all of these companies were doing Black Friday a Friday before Black Friday. So again, this is all the ways that we're trying to counteract some of the things that we know the Democrats have done. You did it. Yeah, you did it. And you did it for reasons to stay in power. You did it for reasons to fatten your pockets. Again, a lot of things are being exposed. And don't forget, when we talk about the environmental protections that Donald Trump stating that as long as you invest, $1 billion in America, then we'll cut through some of the red tape. Understand that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are going to have something to do with this as well, with the Department of Government Efficiency, where they're going to cut some of the fat. They're going to streamline the process of these things and see what's needed and what's not needed. Again, that's what I'm hoping. Okay, that is what I'm hoping. They're stating from the last account that it's only going to stay in place for 2 years. Supposedly, this organization, this new government entity, is only going to stay running for 2 years and then it's going to move on. Okay. Now, I know you guys are familiar with this. Basically, this story is talking about Fannie Willis, watch out. That's all I got for you. Fannie Willis, watch out. You should have never tried to go after President Trump. Listen, if I'm a district attorney, if I'm in the state of Georgia, in the state of Texas, in the state of California, in the state of New York, it doesn't matter what state. If I am not a Supreme Court justice, where I am part of the 3 branches of government, like the Supreme Court, part of the judicial branch, legislative branch, and President Trump, the executive branch. Listen, no. I'm a small fish in a big pond. I'm like a tadpole in the ocean. I'm not going after the president. Okay. And again, a lot of people got on board. A lot of people got on board with this. And I was just like, leave that alone. Some things you just have to leave alone. That's just my personal account on it. Some things you have to just leave alone. Fannie Willis, and then they got into your business, found out that you had all sorts of mispayments and paying for stuff with, state or funds, allegedly. Leave it alone. After a 5-day manhunt, 26-year-old Luigi Mangoni was arrested at McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Now, what you guys may not know about Luigi is that he graduated as valedictorian from Baltimore's Gilman School and later earned degrees, believe 2 degrees in engineering from the University of Pennsylvania. He reportedly suffered from severe back issues, undergoing a dramatic surgery that led to social withdrawal. His manifesto criticized the U.S. healthcare system, describing industry leaders as parasites and likening them to the manifesto. Now, when it comes to this, there's some other information stating that he was a surfer and injured himself and had back surgery. And he had this, traumatic surgery with his back because of his injury. And what seems to believe that he's been going through a lot of stress dealing with the healthcare industry. And I'm pretty sure, which makes me allude to United Healthcare in a sense. Now, if people don't understand the construction of healthcare, especially a conglomerate, a $500 billion company like United Healthcare, CEO Thompson, okay, he's just one fish in a very large pond, because they not only have CEOs, but they have vice presidents and president that's above the CEO. Now, this young man supposedly has a high IQ. He has multiple degrees. He was valedictorian. So he was very astute. Okay, he was very astute. I won't get into how he got himself captured. That wasn't very smart. Essentially, some of the trails and evidence that he left behind. But understanding that you are a 25, 26-year-old male and you had this very traumatic surgery that supposedly led to erectile dysfunction in 6 months prior to this assassination that he allegedly occurred, he has been dealing with the retraction from the public because of these alleged erectile dysfunction, social inability, the crucial pain in his back. All of these things has led up to him committing this very, very heinous act that, of course, shouldn't have occurred in the first place. CEO Thompson should still be with us today, because there's a lot of information that's coming out about CEO Brian Thompson that he converted the fee-based care of United Healthcare to value-based care. And if anyone knows anything about the fee-based care, where you have a pocket of money and you draw from that, versus value-based care, then you understand that this was a major overhaul in United Healthcare, let alone the healthcare industry altogether. So essentially, this young man potentially and unfortunately assassinated the wrong person, because supposedly CEO Brian Thompson, he definitely was trying to make a change. But I can understand to a degree. And here's the thing about, being very unbiased about such a very heinous and crucial act that's very significant, because I think this is the first of its kind where a healthcare executive got assassinated. What's significant about this is taking a moment and being objective and subjective and putting myself in Luigi Mangoni's place, not showing empathy, okay? Because this should not be tolerated, because there's other ways non-violently that he could have handled this. He could have tried to sue. He could have did a civil case. There's many other ways to go about it versus violence and to the point of assassination. But putting myself in his shoes, I don't know the intricate details of his surgery was covered under his healthcare insurance and all the red tape and regulations. But this the frustration and stress that this man went through after having surgery. And if anybody's had surgery like myself, I've had, shoulder surgery, nothing really ever gets fixed. It becomes more manageable. And in some people's case, it becomes worse. And then again, you have doctors and nurses and healthcare and clinic facilities all in the mix. Who knows what this young man has went through? And I'm not saying showing him sympathy or empathy. I'm just saying I like to look at things from both sides of the fence. That's all I'm saying here this morning. You guys have a great and wonderful day. This is Black Logic.